Okay, guys, here we are, hole 5. And one of the biggest things that I see here is the wind's very sideways. So no matter whether I go to the left or the right here, probably going to have a very cross wind either way. The only thing I'm a little worried about, if you go over to that right-hand side, you might cut off your angle a little bit. So staying to the left could help alleviate that problem. So maybe thinking about doing that, the left method here. Another thing I'm also thinking about, one of the things I know is kind of the range is kind of a little bit limited. So with that being said, if you go over to that left-hand side, may be ideal to do it with a Titan ball on this hole. Because we want to try to keep ourselves in long iron range if we can. And you can see, I wouldn't imagine that I need to play this wind very much. So I'm just going to kind of keep it at the max line here. You can see maybe just point it towards the right because the wind should help take it to the left. And you can see that I'm just kind of using the bottom of my circle a little bit and concentrating on perfect ball. I'd imagine, this should be a relatively safe shot. Just need to, more so than anything, get it out and play. The higher the wind, kind of the better. So it just kind of gets a little bit farther down that way. But, you can see not using power. We want to make sure with Big Topper, if you're not perfect ball, you're really putting yourself, let's say I great ball that to the right. It might be in the rough. If I great ball left, I think I'm okay. So I had kind of like a 1 out. I was kind of setting up my aim to where left was okay. If I release early, it's probably maybe in that right rough. It's kind of doing that to kind of give myself a little bit of wiggle room because I'm not sure I can set up to where I can maybe great ball left or right. It's very tough to tell because there's so little accuracy on Big Topper. So let's take a look at this one from this fairway. As I mentioned, even with the Titan, I expect to be very close to the max line. And you can see we actually are at the max line. So we're going to use very little spin as a result. I'm going to have to come in distance-wise just a touch. So you can see I'm changing the +8 to +7. And then maybe can use 1 backspin. But I would say no more than that. You can see with my ball guide how short I have it. I'm just essentially putting this right on the hole. And then we're going to pull up towards the max line here. Very little on the backspin, as I mentioned. Maybe about 1.5 rings on the adjustment. So right here, right on the max line. So let's see here. And as I mentioned, you got to kind of keep off the backspin because I really can't extend that ball guide. And even that, maybe just a hair short. So maybe even no backspin. And it's really just going to depend on your range, your club range and everything. But you can see I was a little under on my adjustment. So I was hoping the wind was so small that there wasn't really going to be any effect or anything. So maybe 1.5 rings was perfect. But it looks like I was just a hair light. Probably still needed another 0.2, 0.3 rings there. So, you'll want to make sure that you put that ball guide just a little bit tighter than I did. Even with only 1 or 1.5 bar backspin, up a hill landing like that, you can see the ball's still checking up and not rolling out very far. So it's very controlled. So you don't want to crank the backspin up on that. You'll want to follow very similar to me. So that way you can potentially roll it in there slow. So keep all that in mind. Good luck. Catch you guys on the next one.